The whiskey bottle shattered against the wooden floor, and the silver dollar fell into deadly silence. You think you're untouchable? Snake Morrison's voice cut through the air, as his calloused hand grabbed the collar of the petite woman cleaning tables, bourbon on his breath, violence in his eyes. Simple equation, darling. This establishment pays protection money, or this establishment burns to the ground. Choose wisely. 10 leather jackets from the Iron Wolves Motorcycle Club rose as one, chair legs scraping across hardwood, forming a menacing circle around her. Before we dive deeper into this confrontation, tell me where you're watching from. The States, Canada, or somewhere else entirely? Drop a comment below. And if these military stories grip you, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another mission. She stood maybe 5'3" in worn sneakers, white uniform shirt hanging loose over faded jeans, chestnut hair pulled back in a practical ponytail that made her appear younger than her 32 years. On the surface, unremarkable. In her posture, unreadable. She kept her gaze down, hands steady on her cleaning rag, treating the broken glass like just another spill to mop up. For 30 minutes, tension had been building. The Iron Wolves had roared into town just after sunset, their chrome announcing their arrival down Highway 29 that cuts through Cedar Falls, Montana, past Camp Steel. They weren't strangers to this territory. Word traveled fast about mysterious accidents, suspicious fires, business owners who suddenly changed their minds after late-night conversations. Behind the bar, Tommy Rodriguez, 24, too stubborn for his own safety, went pale the moment he spotted the wolf's head emblems on their vests. That's them, he whispered to the waitress. She didn't look up, continuing to fold napkins into precise triangles, edges aligned like military formation. Tommy attempted a nervous laugh. You fold those like you're in the service or something. She offered no response, just a faint, knowing half-smile. Snake made his entrance like he held the deed to the building, 38 years old, arms relaxed, moving with a predator's confidence. The coiled rattlesnake tattoo wound up his neck and vanished beneath black leather. His crew dispersed with purpose, blocking exits, taking strategic positions, establishing clear sightlines. It appeared casual. It absolutely wasn't. Evening, folks, he announced with manufactured warmth, hiding something sharper underneath. Just here for drinks and some friendly business discussion. Regular customers, t.e., ranch hands, truckers, a few locals wearing unit patches, shifted uncomfortably in their seats. In the corner booth, Sheriff's Deputy Marcus Chen nursed black coffee, off-duty clothes, doing nothing to hide his military bearing. His eyes were already mapping the room's layout. The first spark came quietly. A wiry biker with gold teeth slapped the waitress's backside as she passed. She flowed just beyond reach, smooth as water, and continued taking orders as if nothing had occurred. Tommy started to intervene. She stopped him with the slightest shake of her head. Drinks were poured, money changed hands, volume increased, and then Snake's attention locked onto her like a laser sight. Hey there, server girl, he called out. Where's your boss? We've got business to discuss. Out of state, she replied softly, eyes focused on the tabletop. I'm just covering shifts. Then you'll deliver our message. He stood, his shadow consuming the space between them. The Iron Wolves provide protection services. $4,000 monthly, ensures nothing unfortunate happens to this fine establishment. She continued wiping the already spotless wood as if she could polish away the thread itself. I'll mention you stopped by. The mask slipped. His smile turned predatory. No, sweetheart, you don't comprehend the situation, Snake said, flicking a silver Zippo lighter. Open or closed, this isn't a negotiation. Around these parts, accidents happen to the unprotected. The circle tightened. The jukebox track ended, leaving the silence razor sharp. Sofia Reeves. Nobody in the room knew her real name, yet she cataloged everything without moving. The limping tough near the jukebox. The pair at the pool table too focused on posturing to watch exits. The gap in Snake's personal space, where he'd made himself vulnerable. She set down her rag. Slow, deliberate. Snake stepped closer. Too close. His leather vest creaked as he reached for her collar. The entire room leaned forward. She raised her chin, just a fraction. Enough for trained eyes to recognize the switch being flipped. Deputy Chen's veteran instincts caught it. The storm was coming. The lighter snapped open with a sharp metallic click that sliced through the silver dollar like gunfire. Snake Morrison leaned in, flame dancing in his palm, grin wide and venomous. You seem confused about the situation, sweetheart, he said, voice oily and low. This isn't a social call. This is business. And in this territory, accidents happen frequently. He let the flame die, and snapped the lid shut, the sound echoing through the tavern. Electrical fires, gas leaks, tragic situations. Each word was a threat wrapped in conversation. Sofia Reeves didn't flinch. She simply placed a clean glass on the table she'd already wiped 4 times, and said quietly, "I can't make decisions for Mr. Patterson. I just serve beverages." The men spread wider, boots scraping floorboards in what looked like drunken swagger. To most observers, it seemed like intimidation. To Sofia, it was tactical formation, encirclement riddled with weaknesses. The biker by the jukebox favored his left leg. 2 more at the pool table were focused on appearing tough instead of watching escape routes. And Snake himself had entered her reaction zone, close enough that one precise movement could end this conversation permanently. Her hand found cool metal beneath her shirt, a worn dog tag, edges smoothed by sweat and desert sand. The name etched there wasn't just history. It was a warning. A Marine's name. Multiple deployments. Operations that had scarred her body and soul. The kind that never truly end. She'd locked away the medals, but this tag still pressed warm against her chest, whispering that no Marine ever truly retires. She'd come to Cedar Falls seeking peace, a quiet existence where the only battles involved spilled drinks and broken chairs. But trouble finds Marines like fire, finds dry grass, always hungry, always spreading. Sofia's other hand brushed the side pocket of her apron, where a tactical communication device rested, its casing built for war zones. She'd sworn never to use it again. Still, her thumb hovered over the activation switch. "Listen," Snake said, irritation creeping into his voice. "I'm offering you an opportunity. Convince your boss to cooperate, and maybe I'll throw something extra your way. What do you make here? Minimum wage plus tips? I could do much better." His eyes searched her face for fear. Instead, he found calm, unsettling calm. "Thank you," Sofia said, finally meeting his stare, voice steady as granite. "But I'm satisfied where I am." The rejection lit his fuse. His meaty hand clamped around her upper arm, fingers digging hard enough to leave marks. The tavern shifted. Every eye turned toward the confrontation. "That's enough," came a voice like gravel and authority. Deputy Sheriff Marcus Chen rose from his booth, shoulders squared, gaze locked on Snake. 2 tours in Afghanistan still echoed in his stance. "Remove your hand from the lady." Snake barked a laugh, without loosening his grip. "What exactly will you do, old-timer? You're off duty, outside your jurisdiction, outnumbered 10-1. Sit down before you get hurt." But Chen didn't sit, and throughout the room, other patrons shifted. 6 men with unit pins, tattoos, or the unmistakable bearing of combat veterans. They recognized this dance. The atmosphere grew heavy. Tommy Rodriguez's hands tightened on the Louisville slugger behind the counter, but his eyes flicked to Sofia. Something in how she stood, weight balanced, eyes scanning angles, didn't match any waitress he'd known. "Marcus," Sofia said softly, surprising everyone by using his first name. "It's fine. These gentlemen were just leaving." Her voice was calm, but her glance told Chen, "Stay alert." That's when Snake made the mistake that would cost him everything. He yanked her closer, fist twisting in her collar. "You don't decide when we leave. We make that call. And right now, we're teaching this bar a lesson about respect." Chairs scraped as more patrons stood. The tension snapped like overstretched wire. "Your problem," Snake hissed, face inches from hers, "is thinking you're better than us. Maybe I need to show you exactly where you belong." His free hand bunched her shirt, cotton beginning to tear under his grip. To most observers, Sofia looked like a trapped waitress, about to break. But Chen saw the subtle shift of her weight, the angle of her shoulders, the preparation of a warrior. The sound ripped louder than shattering glass, fabric tearing, cotton surrendering under brute force. Snake yanked her forward, the seam of her shirt splitting from collar to chest. Sofia stumbled backward, small frame against his bulk, the blouse hanging in tatters, but she didn't cry out. She didn't resist. Instead, the room itself seemed to inhale sharply. Because what that torn fabric revealed wasn't vulnerability. It was truth. Across the black tank top stretched over her shoulders was a skull, surrounded by wings, the insignia of Force Reconnaissance, one of the Marine Corps' most elite units. The tattoo was flawless, each detail permanent proof that she had served where few dared to go. And just above it, block letters inked deep, Staff Sergeant S. Reeves. Not decoration, not vanity. A rank earned through blood and sacrifice. Around the tattoo were scars, stories etched in flesh. A puckered bullet wound near her collarbone, a jagged shrapnel trail along her ribs, each mark a silent testament that survival had never come easy. The jukebox clicked silent, as if the machine itself recognized this was no ordinary bar fight. The iron wolves froze, confidence evaporating like spilled alcohol. Snake stood rigid, fist still clutching fabric, eyes wide with dawning realization. Force Recon. Deputy Sheriff Chen breathed, awe threading his voice. Jesus Christ. Sofia hadn't raised her fists. She hadn't moved aggressively, yet something in her presence had transformed. Shoulders squared, chin lifted, eyes steady with a calm no civilian could fake. The room finally saw who had been standing among them all along. Mr. Morrison, she said evenly, using his real name. You owe me compensation for destroying my property. The dynamic flipped completely. Snake's face cycled through confusion, recognition, disbelief, then the slow horror of understanding. The torn blouse slipped from his grip and fluttered to the floor like a surrender flag. His voice cracked, menace gone. How? How do you know my name? Sofia didn't answer immediately. She turned deliberately, letting every eye take in the scars across her back, a roadmap of battles fought and survived. Jonathan Morrison, she said flatly, almost clinically, discharged from the army for theft, built the Iron Wolves using stolen military equipment. Everyone in Cedar Falls knows the fires and assaults trace back to you. She let silence carry the weight of her words. And I make it my business to know who threatens my territory. Morrison started to say, your territory? But stopped. The weight of her statement hit him like a physical blow. This wasn't a waitress standing here. This was a warrior drawing a line in the sand. From the corner booth, a chair scraped back. A gray-haired man rose slowly, deliberately, presence filling the room. For months, Sofia had served him coffee every Tuesday, never suspecting. Recognition flickered across his weathered features. Staff Sergeant Reeves, he said, voice carrying command even in civilian clothes. Force Recon. I remember you. Operation Desert Phoenix, Helmand Province, 2015. Sofia's body reacted before her mind could process. Shoulders straightening, heels clicking together. Pure instinct, military bearing. Yes, sir, she replied softly. Not to Morrison, not to the room, to him. Colonel James Mitchell, retired, Medal of Honor recipient. The man who had just pulled her past into the present. The tavern froze. Every eye locked on her transformation. She wasn't prey. She was the predator they had catastrophically misjudged. Colonel Mitchell's words still resonated through the silver dollar. Staff Sergeant Reeves, Force Recon. Sofia's throat tightened. She hadn't heard her rank spoken aloud in years. You held that compound, Mitchell recalled, his voice carrying across the silent room. 18 hours, low on ammunition, until the extraction helicopters could break through enemy lines. Her gaze dropped. I had help, sir. Martinez, O'Brien, Jackson. They didn't make it home. From the bar, Clara Washington, longtime regular and former Navy corpsman, stood quietly. I saw you after Desert Phoenix. Burned. Broken. Doctors said you'd never walk normally again. Sofia's eyes flickered. Doctors underestimate Marines, ma'am. The Iron Wolves began edging toward the exits, their circle collapsing. Their retreat halted as 6 patrons blocked the doorway, combat stances unmistakable. One bore sergeant's stripes tattooed on his forearm. Leaving so soon, he asked. You forgot something. An apology. Morrison flushed red, caught between pride and terror. We didn't know, he stammered. Didn't know what? Sofia stepped closer. He stepped back. That I bled for this country? That respect isn't optional? Or that I could neutralize you without raising a fist? Her hand brushed the first aid kit beneath her apron. Bandages, gauze, morphine. She still carried them. Always ready. Always prepared. All of the above, Morrison muttered, voice small. Deputy Sheriff Chen stepped forward, hand near his radio. Miss Reeves? Want to press charges? You've got witnesses for assault, property destruction, intimidation? Sofia's eyes stayed on Morrison. She shook her head. No charges. They're leaving and won't return. Will you, Mr. Morrison? Morrison's head bobbed frantically. No, ma'am. We won't be back. Silver Dollar is completely off limits, and we'll reconsider our other business plans. Morrison's knees buckled. He hit the wooden floor, not from her command, but from pride breaking under pressure. His men stared in horror as their leader crumbled before her. You assaulted me, destroyed my property, threatened everyone here, Sofia said evenly. In other places I've served, you'd already be neutralized. But here, we handle things differently. You will apologize properly, then you will leave and spread the word. Cedar Falls is under protection. Morrison's apology stumbled out, broken but genuine. He bowed low before scrambling toward the door, his crew following like beaten animals. At the threshold, he turned, desperate. Why hide it? Why pretend to be just a waitress? Sofia's expression softened, but her words cut sharper than steel. Because real warriors don't advertise, strength is carried quietly. I came here for peace, to serve coffee, clean tables, remember what normal feels like. Her eyes hardened. Tonight you stole that choice. The iron wolves left without swagger, engines growling into the darkness, stripped of menace. Through the tavern windows, patrons watched them vanish, knowing they'd never return. The silence that followed was reverent. Colonel Mitchell broke it. Staff Sergeant, with your record, you could be anywhere. Why here? Sofia bent down, folding her torn blouse with military precision. Sir, I've been the tip of the spear. First in, last out. A chest full of medals, a head full of nightmares. I wanted a place where nobody knew my name. She pulled on a fresh shirt from behind the bar. But maybe peace isn't hiding. Maybe it's standing your ground. For the first time that night, Sofia smiled. Small, fragile. I never wanted to be Staff Sergeant Reeves again. I just wanted to be Sofia, the woman who keeps your coffee hot. From the back, a voice called, "But you're a hero." Her smile faded. Number Martinez, O'Brien, and Jackson were heroes. I'm just stubborn enough to survive. Colonel Mitchell stepped forward. Staff Sergeant, at Helmand, dozens lived because of you. Their sacrifice wasn't for nothing, Sofia whispered. One mother named her newborn after me, born on the evacuation helicopter. The room fell sacred, silent. She had hidden for years. Tonight, truth stood in the open. A warrior forged in fire, now choosing peace. Tommy swallowed hard. So what happens now? You can't stay invisible. Sofia gathered empty glasses. Then I'll be visible, but on my terms. The tavern slowly returned to motion. Veterans traded long-buried stories. Shoulders lifted. The jukebox played, but the atmosphere had fundamentally shifted. Deputy Sheriff Chen approached, guilt in his voice. Sofia, I should have intervened sooner. I saw how you moved, how you scanned the room. I should have known. She shook her head. You tried to de-escalate. That's exactly what you were supposed to do. Army, right? Iraq? He nodded. 2 tours. Just infantry. Every soldier matters, Deputy. Don't diminish your service. Later, a young voice trembled. Private Lisa Brooks, just back from Syria. How do you keep going? Sofia's gaze steadied on her. You don't go back. That person is gone. You build someone new and find a new mission. Mine is here. Serving. Giving veterans a place where nobody has to explain anything. Showing civilians we're not broken. Just different. When Tommy asked if she regretted losing her cover, Sofia stacked chairs with precision. Number I hid for 4 years, but Marines don't abandon their posts. This is my post now. Word spread like wildfire. By morning, veterans filled the Silver Dollar. Sofia didn't boast or tell war stories. She brewed coffee, tied her apron, listened more than she spoke. The tavern transformed, not because of stories told, but because one Marine finally stopped hiding. Weeks later, a package arrived, a purple heart, polished to mirror shine. The note read, Staff Sergeant, you left this at Helmand. Thought you'd want it back. Corman, Washington. She hung it on the wall beside photos of Martinez, O'Brien, and Jackson. Tommy murmured, I want to enlist. Because of you. Her reply was sharp. Do it for yourself, not for me. The Corps takes everything. Be sure you're ready. He hesitated. Were you? Her fingers brushed her dog tags. Every damn day. And I'd do it again. But that's me. You need your own answer. Sofia caught her reflection in the bar mirror. Is not the broken veteran who hid, not the young recruit who'd enlisted. Someone new, tempered in fire, steadied in peace. She poured coffee, wiped tables, stood watch, not with a rifle, but with a coffee pot. Still serving, still protecting.